Alright, everybody, how's it fucking going, motherfuckers? Suck my dick, suck my motherfucking dick. Yeah. Come on, King Stupioid. Come on, Kunta. Alright, we're just having a morning coffee and a joint. Wake us up. Oh. I've got my super colon blow coffee. Let me know if you want the recipe because it's so freaking good. It's gonna make me go nuts. Don't complain about the music. I love it. It's noise rock and psychedelia, but it can be a little brutal for some people. I do some mainstream shows with music, but not in the morning. I've got to just be myself all the way with no compromise. You can ask me whatever you want since you're kind enough to be here. Oh, I don't know where my head's at right now. Oh. Oh. What's on your mind this morning? Oh. So it's espresso, coconut milk, 4 servings of fiber powder, prebiotic, and dark roast coffee from a Keurig machine. Oh, it's crazy tasty. I shouldn't be drinking it though. Let me mute myself. That might help. I do not want to hear myself talk. I can imagine how you guys feel. But yeah, I don't know how to do a generic Hangout morning coffee stream title. Sometimes they work out amazingly, other times they get buried. And when I get on a roll with my normal topics and my creatively fulfilling streams, then the algorithm just pushes this down to the back of the line and stops promoting it. I thought having variety would help me, but it's only hurt my channel. So I want to hear from you guys. If you guys are musicians and new content creators struggling to get started, anyway, we can build each other up. This is a hobbyist channel, very supportive and helpful. It's been an incredible journey to get to this stupid point. I get all the views in the world on my shorts. I get thousands of views every one I do almost, and nobody comes to my actual live streams. It doesn't just translate, you know. I am better in small doses. But some people like the personalized attention, you know. All right, I'm gonna spill everything, which I did yesterday, and I was so pissed. Yes, I'm wearing shorts. How dare you? Hey, Amy. You've been summoned. That sounds spooky. I gotta go pee pee. Wow. Bro, don't shake your ass. Hey, you are a hater. You drank your haterade this morning. I don't. Yeah, but I love it because the trolls, they'll come in here and go, "Oh, you're gay" and all this stuff, and I start shaking my butt and they're like, "I'm out of here." So it's like mission accomplished. It sends them running for the hills. Head for the hills, head for the hills, plane down, plane down. But I had 3.7K subs on my old channel just dancing and being silly. And I did more elaborate stuff too, like I did backflips and tricks and stuff. But, you know, you can't please everybody. What am I supposed to do? If you guys don't entertain me, I have to entertain myself, right? Am I right or am I right? Oh. Oh yeah, man. It's 10 o'clock. I gotta go to church like a good boy. I'm drinking my colon blow coffee, trademark, patent pending, patent pending, I should say. I got all this fiber in the mail. so so many people are afraid to incorporate fiber into their diet. They think they're just gonna load their drawers and go number two more. That's not necessarily how it works. It binds things together in your system over time so that you could do a full elimination when the time comes. It doesn't necessarily make you go more. Some people it does. But coffee makes me head for the restroom within the first 20 seconds. I'm part of that club. I don't know if it's the caffeine or something else going on. But yeah, yeah. The older I get, the more and less movies I want to watch simultaneously. Both things true at the same time. Because on one hand, I'm super burnout from my days at Blockbuster where I watched 4 to 5 movies every night to crash, no matter what the occasion was. And then movies have downgraded in quality since then, all that stuff. There are some good ones out there, some good directors. But then at the same time, as I get older and more immobilized, I'm gonna want to sit around on my big fat butt more and watch more stuff. You know, I don't like Stranger Things and all those TV shows. I like a movie that has a beginning, middle, and an ending, and it's like a conclusive thing. I don't like a to be continued series where you just have to binge watch it or whatever. Um, oh, I've been on the panel with Samuel dozens of times a couple years ago. I did comedy songs up there. I made him laugh, did some funny routines and stuff. I'm not really relevant anymore in the drama community. I used to be kind of popular. But now there's all these hate mongrels and everyone's divided up on a certain side, and I don't want to support that. I like Sam okay, but I don't know if I, you know, on his non-drama topics maybe, but I'm not. I don't know much about politics or history or any of that stuff. The last TV show I binge watched was Breaking Bad. That was amazing. It spoiled me for all other shows. All the micro expressions and the acting is so good. Um, Even I know nothing about less than nothing about acting. But yeah. I was gonna say I was an extra in a couple movies. I don't even remember all. I just remember The Hammer with Adam Carolla because I used to be a huge Carolla nut. So he just said on his radio show to all his fans, show up between the hours of this and that, and you'll be in part of a crowd in a boxing scene. So I did. It was one of the most fun experiences of my life. First of all, Adam was so chill. It was like the dead heat of summer in like downtown LA, wherever we were. And we were in a stuffy garage and they were trying to make it as hot as they could so the fighters would sweat and it would look really realistic. So Adam was in the ring duking it out, literally doing take after take in the hottest possible conditions with no water, no nothing. He was so nice. He was making these little jokes in between each take, but he must have been dying because I was dying on the perimeter and I had all these drinks. So we didn't get paid, but we got free any snack we wanted. We got it and as much of it as we could. They had everything from Lunchables to more gourmet finger foods to everything in between. Um, yeah, yeah. Hey, sweetie. Zenny Zen Zen, the alpha female. You better watch out, guys. She'll cut your pee off at a moment's notice. Just kidding. But I think that's pretty hot. Um, and you're sweet for an alpha. You're not like controlling and demanding. I used to think that I had a misunderstanding of the term. I thought those two went hand in hand. I thought you had to be kind of a piece of poo poo to be an alpha, but I guess not. You're living proof. I found living proof. Oh yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm having coffee and some nug. But yeah, it's got 4 to 5 servings of fiber. I don't know what I'm trying to do to myself. I've been living off pizza. I might do like a super pizza me, like super size me. That'd be kind of boring though. But my I got a freezer for the garage, but it was cranked on nuclear mode. So I tried to bring my pizza out, and it was like a hockey puck, and it was just glazed in ice. So I stuck it in the thing, and it took 3 times longer to cook than it said on the package. And even then, in the middle, it was still like screwed up. I'm like, what the? So I got to get that fixed. Oh, awesome! Yeah, I've seen every movie. I I want to try to be accurate from at least. There's some 80s movies that I'm missing, but at least from 1985 to 2012, I've seen everything it's put on a rentable format, DVD, Blu-ray, whatever. Oh, but that was when I worked at Blackbush. That was before streaming was popular. That was when everything was still blocky. It wasn't the dial-up days, but everything was buffering and took forever to load. I couldn't imagine like, hey Sammy, how did you speak of the frickin' devil? Wow. Yeah, and isn't it funny that he went from that role? I mean, he went from playing the goofy dad on that Malcolm in the Middle show, which is a very polarizing, stylistic humor show, to such an amazing performance. He could never outdo himself on that TV show. But I wish Breaking Bad were like a movie. They should have condensed it into like a 4-hour movie or something. I just think even like the wife, like her expression, like when she finds out her husband's secret and she has to kind of like not let him know, her micro expressions convey so much emotion, and you're just waiting for the dam to break. And I love how just the moments of tension, just with the dialogue, are just as exciting as like the action scenes. And when the guy's like head gets cut off and you see like a turtle going by, I remember that part. Favorite horror movie? That's so hard to, because they all complement each other, and I've seen all the Japanese obscure ones, and I'm kind of an indie snob. There's like a mainstream horror movie. I guess I just like all the stuff everyone like: Candyman, Nightmare on Elm Street. None of the remakes, none of the sequels. Um, all that stuff. But then there's older stuff, like the first Alien movie. You don't see the alien till like the very end, and you're like, "What the?" That's like a science fiction too. Yeah, there was this guy who did like a 4-hour stream about how The Shining's the worst movie he's ever seen. I'm like, "Are you trolling? This is ridiculous." Guy was so stupid, and he had good taste in other movies, but I don't know. Insidious. I think I remember that. Kubrick, Nicholson, and King. Yeah. What's that? What are other good Stanley Kubrick movies? What about the one with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman? That's kind of like a Diddy party. I forget the name. You think he was trolling? I think he was serious. Yeah, there's a whole thing called rage baiting. I've never even heard that term till recently. Some people accuse me of that, but I don't have time to research everything I do. I try not to have knee-jerk reactions to things if I'm commenting on somebody I think is a piece of poo-poo or whatever. But it's mostly for fun and to just get better at my craft. And then people light up my comments. Oh, you idiot! You did exactly zero research. You're just running your big dick sucker, and nobody has a sense of humor anymore. His last and worst, yeah. But it's still a fascinating film. It's just more. It's like a psychedelic. You got to be high on shrooms or something to watch that. I think I've been high for every movie I've ever watched. Yeah, I didn't see the first Exorcist till I was like in my 30s, but it still holds up. Yeah. I saw the remake of Nightmare and I thought that was actually okay because the guy that played Freddy has been really scary in other movies. He was in a drama called Little Children with Kate Winslet. That's where he plays like a pedo, and that was so scary. So that's why I thought he'd make a good Freddy. But the rest of the movie was kind of Rain in Baltimore by Crows. What is that? Nobody's coming to a party. I am just brain dead today. You mean the Counting Crows? You did a couple Counting Crows songs the other day. That was so cool. I want to cover that Long December. And there's reason to believe maybe this year will be better than the last. I used to do that live, and it's kind of a mopey, sad song, but it's really good. I don't like all their stuff. I kind of went through a phase with them, you know. No, I've never heard of Rain in Baltimore by the Crows. I know the Counting Crows and the Black Crows. Oh yeah. What about Martyrs? That movie where the chicks like take off their skin or turn their skin inside and out, and they're just walking around all disgusting looking. People say that's one of the most brutal ones ever. I don't know. I went through the gore phase in my 20s where I was like, oh, this one's, you know. But then I'm like, whatever. That's crazy. I've never heard of that band. Is that from the 70s? Hey, Lauren, how are you? The Substance. Isn't that more psychological thriller kind of? That's why I like Silence of the Lambs. The first part is psychological horror, and then the second half is like a regular caper horror movie twist thing. I like the idea that a horror movie can have good acting and build up tension that way, and then also have other stuff in it. You know? Like first, like with the slasher history, it started with Halloween, but that movie isn't that gory, and I don't think it holds up as much necessarily. But then Friday the 13th upped the ante, and that's where they have a higher body count, and you see them getting stabbed, and there's blood and stuff. And then from there, it just kind of went crazier and crazier. But those were both the late 70s, I think. Oh, I never read the book. I should put that on my list. I have Audible, I think. Chaka Khan has made a new album. She has a song with Snoop Dogg. That's crazy. I heard that name before. I thought it was like a political figure. I didn't know she was a rapper because I've heard her referenced, before. Um, Slasher series on Shudder. What? Say that three times fast. Yeah, and I love the parody of that in Spaceballs, the Mel Brooks movie. Star Wars parody, where the alien comes out and starts singing, "Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my Showtime girl." That's crazy. Oh, you guys, I'm getting blazed. My eyes are going to start popping out of my skull. I feel old now. Oh, I never seen that. I used to watch Creep Show and The Twilight Zone. That's old school. The Creep Show movies, or the first two ones, are good. And then the show with the Crypt Keeper was really good. And Twilight Zone is surprisingly scary because the show is like little plays. They put so much work into it. It's the old school black and white. So each show is just very dramatic and well done, and has a great build up. It's not for everybody. Some people would think it was slow by today's standards, I guess. I love wearing a hat. I'm glad you asked. I feel like it gives my face more symmetry, and I put too much thought into my hairstyle sometimes, and I have really bad acne on my scalp. So half the time I shave my head, half the time I grow it out, but I don't like the way it looks. I don't know. I just think it looks cleaner and tidier to wear a hat. It's my one quirk on here. Beetlejuice. Yeah, but they made a sequel to Beetlejuice Part 2, The Revenge. I never saw the sequel. I wasn't allowed to see the original, so I don't think I've seen it all the way through, just bits and pieces. I do like, what's his name? I didn't think Edward Scissorhands. I think that's an overrated movie if you go back and watch it now. I think it's pretty good. But I like his weirder movies. Oh, wow. Here is my best feature among many. Well, you're an Adonis. You're sculpted after the Greek gods, like the statue of David. Teeny weeny and everything. Just kidding. They had a funny Saturday Night Live. It was an older one. It was on the statue of David. And they bring it to the guy who they modeled it after, say, look, we made you this great statue. Isn't this an incredible way to immortalize you? And like, yeah, we made it anatomically correct and everything. He's like, no, that is so wrong. Why is my dick so small? No. Like, we're pretty sure we got it spot on. I just think that's so funny. But they said a small penis was a symbol of goodness and grace and strength and virility in a man back then. And also, they didn't want to emphasize the schlong on the statue and be crude in that sense. But they associated big size with the guy's going to screw around more and he's evil and all this stuff. Florence. Yeah. The first Saw movie is great. I think the second one was pretty good too. And after that, I'm not sure. I saw part 3 in the theaters. I should remember. But yeah, I don't like the horror movies with the CGI and the super slick effects, and it's all sped up and all these little things. The old school effects, like the guy who made Evil Dead 2. Was it Sam Raimi, or is that the actor? He did that all on his own shoestring budget, so you see the passion coming through on the screen with every splatter. You guys seen the new Evil Dead? I haven't. I hear it's good. Yeah, Child's Play. But I think Candyman, the original, is underrated. That's pretty freaking scary. The first half is a little slow, but then it picks up quite nicely. And that's where it gives you that dramatic effect and that element of surprise. And you're like, it kind of bowls you over. But a random recommendation, an amazing Jake Gyllenhaal movie. It's like a drama thriller. It's called Prisoners, and it's just insane. It poses so many moral questions, and it's got all this stuff. It's about, they think this guy with like autism is a pedo, and he made some comments about the guy's daughter. So the guy like does vigilante justice, and he locks the guy up in his basement. And he starts torturing him every day and stuff. And then there's all these twists and turns. I don't want to ruin it for you guys. Um, but yeah, he's a whole. Yeah, I mean, it's like Scream was decent, and it was self-aware or whatever. I liked Scary Movie more, but at that point, it's starting to like recycle itself a little, just a little bit. Yeah, I love South Park, but I haven't watched it for like 7 years. Same with Simpsons and Family Guy. Oh, nice. I just remember not being allowed to watch it for like 5 years when I lived at home as a kid, and I'm like, ah, but it was worth the wait. Then I got all the DVD box sets. That's crazy. I spent so much money getting like all the Simpsons box sets, all these movies on DVD, and then I bought them again on Blu-ray, and now all for nothing because I don't watch them anymore, and I don't even have the player, and now everything's streaming anyway. Celebrity Deathmatch. Oh yeah, they have Boyd Wrestling, which they do like a parody of it on here for YouTube, which I thought was just a rumor, but it's actually a thing. I don't know the channel though. Yeah, and it's just two guys with the mastermind behind it. That's crazy. Most shows that have a whole table full of writers are better than shows that are just made by like one person. That's why The Simpsons was always funny because they do the table reads and they hash out the jokes before they actually put it into the thing. They like try out all these jokes and stuff. And I gotta say, Saturday Night Live had a woke season a while back, and a lot of people were turned off. And the cool thing is to say SNL sucks now, but I've seen the last couple seasons, and it was riotously funny. I fell off my floor. I just fell off my chair, but I don't really sit in chairs. I just fell on my side laughing. Um, but I think it's as funny as it's ever been. I know it's a super bold statement, and they have a lot of the same writers on the crew. That's my point. Of course, Keenan Thompson. He's like a lifelong sketch comedy guy. He's doing it ever since Disney Channel Kids Incorporated was like SNL for kids, and he had a shot at a couple movies that failed. So I think he's just gonna stick around till he's unalived. By the way, what do you guys think of the Perez Hilton thing? I know that's too deep to dive into. But I just feel bad. Whatever he did in the past, people are so heartless. They just like a good shit show, and like the value of humanity and human life is going down by the day in people's eyes. The compassion is just fading and fading into the void. How would you feel like if that was one of your family members up there doing that? They don't think about these things, these three-dimensional practical applications. They just react and go, "Oh, what a little cow! Glad it's not me. He deserves it." Blah blah blah. So stupid. I don't trust people like that don't have a heart. You have to be capable of nuanced thinking. You have to be able to say, I didn't really like the guy, but I'm prayers for him and his family for what it's worth. Something like that. What is happening to our society? Yeah, my topical streams, which I call my regular real streams, and my concert streams, they don't run long enough to hit the algorithm. But I would like you guys to hit that notification bell and change it to all, because I need your support during those times. And those, I'm in a much better mood. They're 1,000 times more entertaining than these streams. But like I said, I don't know how to market them. All I know is how to launch into my craft and just hope for the best and learn a little as I go. 10% more every day, whatever. If I can help you guys in any way, especially new streamers just getting it together. I had to fumble the ball 1,000 times before I figured out some of these things. Oh God. Well, you're the one good girl that exists on this world. And I'm a hypocrite too. When I subscribe to somebody awesome, I'm like, oh man, I can't wait till their next live stream, but I don't click the bell, you know. And YouTube should have a thing about it, you know. Oh no, you're awesome. And you never bring the drama. You follow the rules, so I can't complain. Some people try to weaponize me to join a hate mob. I'm like, no, that's not exactly what I signed up for. This is just a hobbyist stream. I used to have involvement with the drama community, but I was more of a looky-loo, just checking it out. All right, you guys. Oh, I know you UK buggers are crazy. Like the moment I'm eating my Raisin Bran, you guys are all taking your Ambien and going to sleep. That's good. And I respect whatever anybody wants to do on their own channel. You know? But I'm sick of hearing back in the day people would come over here and they'd just be like, oh, you know, I noticed there was 3 women over here that you absolutely should have nothing to do with because of this and that and that and this. I'm like, I don't need the life story of everybody that comes over here. Just enjoy the moment and talk about what we're talking about or not or whatever. I don't know. It's a lot to sort out. You know? Like I have a need to talk, like it's therapeutic, but I'm not that. I'm a pretty shy person. I don't do well with people, even like on here necessarily. In short bursts, I can be okay, but I don't know. It's more of a challenge than anything else. Sometimes I want to relax. Yeah, gatekeeping is crazy. I want to make a separate Bible channel and a separate music channel, but YouTube still hasn't changed their rule. They only let you validate 1 phone number per year for, you know, when you make a new channel. Exactly. And as a general rule, not to be sexist, but you ladies usually are at least respectful, if nothing else, right? The guys come in here, they try to troll. I say at least troll with soul and be original, you know. Or they'll just regurgitate something, or they say I'm gay, or I have a big nose, or I shouldn't be dancing, or what is Unk doing? I guess Unk is a term of disrespect, which is actually kind of hilarious. I heard some kid screaming at a guy in the mall the other day, like he's like you are just an out of touch Unk, and you don't get to tell me what to do. I don't think it was his actual uncle. I think I don't, I don't know if he was calling his dad Unk, which is kind of funny. That's how you know you're getting old. We all had our code words and special words when we were kids, but then when you're my age, it's just like, oh, I just want to cut down on the clutter and cut to the chase. Just tell me what you want to tell me, and don't add the extra adjectives or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. The people that have been on here like 7 to 10 years or longer, they really don't have anything else, most of them, and they expect more out of people in the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like they feel more invested in their investment of a relationship with someone online that you don't know if those feelings are reciprocal because we're all kind of crazy. We've got all these things on our mind, busy lives and all this other stuff. You know, most people use this as an outlet for something they're not getting in their normal life. You can do that in a good way, or you can become someone you're not and just have that stupid adventure. Back in the day before the internet, people would just live vicariously through each other, and now they have the opportunity to become a different person in a bad way and be deceptive and a grifter or stalker or whatever. I know. I really thought we were still in March in the back of my mind. It doesn't seem that. My birthday is just like a month or two away. I don't even want to think about it. I'm going to be doubly middle aged. I'm going to be 45. Right there, smack in the center. Christmas stuff before Halloween stuff? I don't get that. I saw, what was it? Vincent de Paul, Saint of the something thrift store. They had an outdoor sale. It was all these broken ornaments and crap. But they had funny, like Coors Light cans ornament. They had a Jeffrey Epstein air freshener on Amazon. And now I almost wish I would have got it because it's like a collector's item. But it was only like $1. It said this ornament did not hang itself. Like, it's kind of dark humor, but I'm like, why is this available on Amazon? Oh, 36, you lucky duck. Oh no, honey, I'm 44. You could tell when I turn to the side I'm 100 years old. Yeah. This time last year I was much more beautiful but I used to be a lifeguard and a stripper. So I do get kind of self-conscious of my looks like a woman from time to time. But I'm kind of growing out of it this year, especially since I could fulfill myself creatively. Whereas before, I didn't have the laptop. I had an old, half-broken iPhone 8, horrible Wi-Fi signal because the tower burned to the ground. So now things are looking up. I could take advantage of the stuff in a good way. I don't know. Oh, nice. Yeah, I mostly dated younger by a couple years. But I dated a woman in her mid 20s when I was like 38, 39. But she was super mature, super well traveled, super everything. Now, my ex girlfriend, she was like 36, but she had cerebral palsy and she's also missing one hand that got burned off in a fire when she was a kid. So she relied on me for everything, which I loved. I loved driving her everywhere, hanging out together because she was always so funny. We would finish each other's sentences. We just like had everything in common, and we did everything together. And then we kind of grew apart, and she got resentful of me when she tried to take on more stuff independently on her own. She was like, "Wait a minute." She thought the only way I would be proud of her is if she liberated herself a little bit. But she went about it all in the wrong way. It got kind of convoluted and twisted. Oh, do you? Oh, interesting. So you don't have to answer this. Are you like, do you drive and stuff? Or I'm taking a little driving break. I don't know if I'm going to renew my license. I got in 2.5 super bad car accidents within a 2 month span. And I totaled my car and my stepmom's car. I don't want to have to pay the gas and insurance all over again. Oh, you too, honey. Have a great day. Oh. Oh. Yeah, it's weird. I thought I would always drive my whole life. It was a big part of my life. And I worked delivery jobs before DoorDash was even invented. I did pizza delivery and stuff like that. I drove an old rich lady around. It was like driving Miss Daisy, only I'm not black. I've had almost every kind of job in every category, and that's not a flex, believe me. Oh. Yeah. A lot of men really like the sense of control and freedom in driving. The thing is, you not only have to learn to be a good driver for yourself, you have to watch everyone else's idiot potential mistakes. Well, how can you budget that in your brain, especially if you have ADHD and you have trouble, focusing certain things all together? It can get tough. And I had a lot of practice, so I got cocky. I thought I was a better driver than I was. Um, Over time, I got a decent amount of failure to stop, speeding tickets, and stuff like that. And I was in a couple accidents, but not as many as my friends were. So I thought I was good to go. Yeah, Zenny's really sweet. He's got a great voice too, as do you, because you get that accent going. I'm a sucker for the British accent. Oh, and severe OCD. That's a crazy combo. Yeah, I'm in a weird state of mind because on one hand, I fit in with YouTube. I've had enough stuff fall through in my life and tragedy that I'm just humble and I'm building myself from the ground up. On the same token, I'm not spiteful, vindictive, and even snarky like these other channels. Not like snarky's being bad, but so I just don't fit in anywhere in the drama community. Even if somebody wants to hang out with somebody nice and they want to participate in a hobbyist channel, they'll still be like, he's boring. He's not in the Discord talking trash 24/7 with all the rest of us. I'm like, you guys are the ones missing out, not me. I'm taking in more real life, touching grass, doing good stuff to rebuild. But I appreciate it. I try to be. But that's why people were like, they love to put me in a box in a category. So a lot of guys would be like, oh, he's gay, because the women would come over here and flirt with me. And I'd be like, I can't help it if they're flirting with me. Meanwhile, I'm not leading them on. I'm just being respectful and cool. But it all hit me at once, and I couldn't figure out if I liked the extra fame and attention, you know. But I got used to it. So when I started from scratch, I just went into a weird mode in my head where I didn't know how to decipher things. Exactly. Most people are like that. But some people say they want to leave the drama behind and they'll chase it, they'll nurture it, they'll feed into it. Uh, you know, And now I've learned to see the signs. I can kind of tell, you know, well, someone will lie and be like, oh, yeah, I'm taking a break, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll tag somebody and be like, this person just did, you know. So it can get in your blood and it can make you feel alive, even though on paper it doesn't seem like it necessarily would. It's kind of a new phenomenon in a sense. Well, whatever. I've just been in a cave for years. Now, I got into trouble when I first came here. I stood up for all the women, not blindly, but like I've always trusted women. I had 7 stepsisters growing up, so I was always fighting for them when guys would try to date them and stuff. So I kind of went into that protector mode a little too much without doing my research. And some women just groomed me and did all this crazy stuff. Um, oh no, that's crazy. But yeah, it became a weird thing. I mean, picture someone coming to YouTube new and you want people to like you and all this other stuff. But at the same time, I'm coming in fresh. I'm forced to treat everyone as equal until I have reason to otherwise. But if they come here and they're polite and they follow the rules, I don't know what they're doing on some other channel going crazy. It's none of my business. I don't really care. When you have ADHD, you just have to resign to the fact that you'll be out of the loop on some things through no fault of your own, you know. And that's a humbling thing because we always like to feel like we're in control, especially men. If nothing else, us guys that grew up with the soccer coach dad, the football player coach that always hammered us. It's like, oh, you're just a girl. You'll never make it. You're a wimp. You're a loser. Trust me, this will make you stronger one day. It's like, yeah, great. Don't do me any favors. Tell me if my voice is too loud or too mumbly. But yeah, I've got to get out of here in about 5 minutes. Yeah, totally. That's why I started playing guitar for the first time in 10 years. I'm like, I need a hobby to get my brain away from this stuff. Oh, I appreciate it. Hey now, WNBC Radio, spinning all the hits. I do have kind of a radio background, the old school radio days. It's back when Howard Stern was still super popular. Everybody wanted to be the next shock jock in the morning. But now you got all these edge lords on here that'll just say the most horrific stuff on panel and Discord and stuff. Oh, thanks, honey. Now I'm blushing. But yeah, I miss when all the ladies were in here because they contributed so much, and they kept my brain bumping along with the stimuli. But at the same time, I didn't know how to handle dozens of women that had a crush on me, and I didn't want to just feed my ego, even though I was flattered that the scenario even it presented itself to me. I'm just a nerdy guy. I mean, when I was in my band, I got a lot of girls on the road, but that's still kind of superficial. I'm kind of matured since then. At the same time, since I'm in my mid-40s, it can be very flattering when women, want to jump your bones. But I fed into that, and I told more dating disaster stories and relationship type stuff because they loved it. But now, I don't know. I just do whatever's on my heart, and it comes from a real place every time. But most people that sub to me, they just do it as a kind gesture. I never see them at my streams, or probably forgetting to click notification bell. So that's more likely the thing. Because then when they do finally come, they'd be like, I didn't know you still went live. I'm like, what? I go live like 3 times a day, but with totally different streams. It's almost like a different person. Whatever. I'm not. See, I could bring low self-esteem into any equation. I'm the only one that could take a victory and flip it and turn it into a failure in my mind. I'm still working through that in therapy, you know. But I like to process my pain instead of dwelling on it and see things instead of a wall. My therapist said, look at it as a cul-de-sac, a chance to turn around, because we can always work on ourselves, or at least attempt to it. But we can't flip somebody's mind around by any one phrase or thing we say. There's no magic word to do that. Yes, I am, because I'm very deep and nerdy. But that's why women like me, because behind the scenes, I'm even nicer than I am on here. On here, I'm usually distracted or frazzled from something I just got back from. But yeah, personality is the best. Like, who would want a supermodel type looks, but vapid, shallow personality, or snooty, or always fighting, or yelling at you in an annoying Valley Girl voice? That would be so grating on the nerves. I've had that type of thing, but that's good. But I throw my looks in for free. No, it's cheesy. I don't know how to express that. Like, well, let's say women are pleasantly surprised when they see me nude on the 3rd or 4th date. No, but I'm really nerdy. I like old school walks on the beach, outdoor restaurants, hiking and conversation, Netflix and chill. Hello, how are you? I don't know. I was about to ask you the same question. You can ask me whatever you like. It doesn't have to be related to whatever topic we're on. This is an ADHD stream where my mind is wandering. I'm just having my breakfast and chit-chatting. Oh. It's a Super Colon Blow 2000 coffee. It's got 5 servings of fiber, probably 20 grams. Oh, no. What did I do to my system? I can't believe it. But yeah. But yeah, I want to have a separate Bible study channel because I want to test that if I have a new channel, but it's focused on one thing, no videos and no subs, could it still hit the algorithm based on quality alone? Because I've got a lot of stuff that I haven't revealed to you guys as far as, I'm great when I make my own script and I do my own research. But because my medication was skewered, I haven't had that focus and I felt really strange about it. I wasted all this time in the interim. So I don't know. You better believe it, baby. But yeah, I want people to come to my music streams. That's where I loosen up and I do fun, interesting things. But I'm weird about my playing. I have to be in the exact right frame of mind. You can't just throw me a guitar and have me play something from memory. I have to have my sheet music. I have to have everything set up a certain way. But when I'm spontaneous and by myself, that's when I actually sound the best and sing and play the best. So, but yeah, I want you guys to be a part of that. It's not a stuffy concert stream. It's just a interactive, all request type of a dealio. At least that's my intention. But like I said, I don't know anything about marketing or promotion. I just come on here and plug in and do my thing. I try to make it cool for you guys on my real streams. Those are all planned. But here, you can always ask anything, if nothing else. And it keeps my brain from freezing up. Hopefully you get something out of it. I don't know. God can use it. He can use whatever he wants. Oh, I should be in church right now. No. What time is it? Almost 11. Might do a workout stream today. I still don't know how many calories I need. I was eating Ben and Jerry's up late last night. It felt so right, so wrong at the same time. Even the brownies and the cookie dough just melt in your mouth. And the plain vanilla ice cream by itself is so delightful and great. And you can taste the gourmet nature of it. Oh. But yeah, I wish just the act of practicing talking gave me practice. But with ADHD, most days are like you're resetting your brain and starting from scratch with a lot of stuff. It's like Groundhog's Day with Bill Murray. Sometimes, if you guys have seen that movie, I gotta watch that again. That one and What About Bob are the two funniest Bill Murray movies, and they're just nice PG movies. Not everyone knows about them. Richard Dreyfuss and stuff. All right, guys, I'm gonna go. Let me see. Yep, I'll be live again in 30 to 60 minutes probably if I do a workout stream. I gotta tackle my gut, but I can't thin out in my limbs and buttocks. Otherwise, I'll lose everything I worked so hard for this month. So I'm gonna put that in motion and see. All right, guys, thank you so much. Peace. Come on, Lord.